first moment of holding her, it was like, yeah. I was seeing a doctor and she said, has anyone talked to you about your antibodies in your blood? And I just had no idea what she was talking about. She said, well, I think this is something you need to get checked out and you need to go to probably Vancouver Women's Hospital is the best place for you. They said your baby might be anemic, so we need to potentially do a blood transfusion. End of February is relocated here.
In that situation, the only option is to do an intrauterine transfusion. There are about 2 to 5 patients per year who have a pregnancy that's complicated by fetal anemia requiring a transfusion. So there can be different causes for the anemia in the baby. The most common though is when there's an incompatibility between baby's blood type and mom's blood type, and where mom has an antibody that can attack the baby's blood cells.
They're like, your baby's at risk for heart failure if we don't give her a blood transfusion. I've had a lot of medical issues in my life, so I've always had procedures and I've never really thought of anything of them until it's not happening to you, it's happening to your baby. When I was born, I had, I guess it's the HPV virus on my vocal cords, so I get little growths on my vocal cords. So when I was a baby, I would get laser surgery to remove them. I also got diagnosed with ulcerative colitis when I was 10 years old, and I was in and out of remission for about 6 years, and then when I was 16, I got an ileostomy bag. So I had blood transfusions with my ulcerative colitis. My mom had to sign consent forms. So when I had to sign these consent forms for her, I was crying and the doctor was like, it's okay. Like, she just let me have my moment. They said, it's okay to feel scared. We're gonna do the best that we can. This is normal. They always keep you updated and in the loop. If you had questions and you're like, I still don't get it, they drew diagrams. They really made sure you knew what was going on.
As much as we can, we like to allay those fears ahead of time by answering their questions. In the high-risk clinic, we have the opportunity to spend extended time with these patients to make sure that these needs are met. If you are able to reduce their stress, their outcomes are better.
They put a needle into your belly to numb you, to freeze you. Then they poke her leg in my belly to freeze her so she's not squirming around. And then they put a third needle in to do the blood transfusion. So they did it and it was fine. She got her blood. 3 weeks later, they went in again and I was so scared. One of the nurses, she sat there and held my hand the entire time. And I squeezed her hand and she, the whole time, was just reassuring me, just think of your baby, you know, I'm doing this for her.
We value women at the center of their care, women having control over their care and input and valuing who they are in their journey, and not just being about a pregnancy or a complication, but about that woman's experience through that journey.
She was born 6 pounds, 8 ounces, April 7th at 2:38 in the morning. Obviously, just like lost for words. So when they took her to the NICU, it was like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning. I was like, I have to go see her. So they wheeled me all the way up to the NICU and she was under phototherapy lights, so like the blue lights. And she had little goggles on and she was so tiny. And I was just too scared to touch her. I didn't even touch her. I just couldn't believe that she was there. I think about these moments and I'm not emotional, but to talk about them, it's different. It was hard. Because you just want to be with your baby. She didn't need a blood transfusion when she came out, which was great. Bella, she's such a little fighter, seriously. I just can't wait to show her off and be like, this is what you guys made possible. All the nurses and the doctors, it's like a genuine bond with them and a friendship. And they were just so comforting and calming and reassuring. Thank you guys. Without this team, without this hospital, like who knows where my baby would be right now or where I would be.